It is time once again for One Piece. Hey
man, that's spoilers.
This week, a mere 2 arcs.
One of them doesn't even count. I don't even think one of them should count as an arc. Next to nothing happens.
Well,
and then you have Loguetown. I am the comedic genius.
So of course, Arlong Park. I just want to say overall, when I was first watching One Piece, this was what did it.
Yeah.
This turned me from like, this show's pretty good to like, this shit different.
It is. This shit is different.
So, do you have any overall things you want to cover, or let's just get into the shit?
Open
my beer away from the mic while you talk.
I don't... There's nothing I need to say, like, overall, other than, like, the fishmen are not portrayed favorably here. Which I will get into a bit more, like, later-ish.
Fair enough. Continuing on.
This is the setup for... This is Nami's backstory.
Yeah, this is like... Every character has had their arc.
Right.
And in that arc, we got their backstory and shit. And
Zoro kind of got an arc. But
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Zoro was more in there. He was more there around than he was like...
The arc where they get the guy, or they get the member, let's say.
Yeah. And
then there's the backstory like intertwined with it pretty much.
Right.
When
reasonable.
Obviously, and I think it's like he notably improved on that aspect as it went on, because Zoro obviously just has the backstory, and then Usopp's is related to the arc, but it's also kind of like secondary.
Right.
Whereas Nami's has been like hinted at since she first showed up, and it's like majorly important to the entire scenario that occurs.
Right.
In Arlong Park, so. And Sanji. I somehow missed Sanji, where Sanji is pretty well incorporated, but it also is very in the past. Like, Nami's backstory is still happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, this is the end of her backstory, almost, in a sense.
And that's the crazy part.
I know. So, our heroes arrive at Loguetown. They're separated. And...
What?
Aren't they? Because there's, like, Usopp and Zoro went first?
You said they arrive at Loguetown.
Oh, sorry. They arrive at Arlong Park. Eventually.
Fucking idiot.
That's how quickly I think.
Fucking idiot. No, they, Yosako, Zoro, and Usopp all arrive at Arlong Park. Usopp and Yosako fucking jump off the boat, leave Zoro tied to the fucking mast.
Yeah.
And Zoro's still all fucked up.
Yeah.
From fighting Mihawk.
And he has really not recovered since...
No.
Like, he really hasn't recovered from, starving for weeks. Like, he's still dealing with that.
Right.
Plus, several stab wounds, an entirely open chest.
Right. Which he, stapled together himself.
Yeah, it's, he's not a doctor.
Nobody's a doctor.
Clearly. Except maybe Nami, because she knows what scurvy is.
Right. Maybe they should get a doctor. But they should get a musician first before a doctor.
So, we see that happen, and Zoro gets, don't they capture him? They capture him then and take him back to Arlong Park.
Yeah, they take him back to Arlong Park.
We also see Nami, now that we see her approaching Arlong Park, so obviously the story's been hinting that she... is affiliated with them in some way or something. Right. We don't know exactly.
Well, yeah, and then Nami shows up.
And there's that kid.
Yeah, the kid. She kicks the kid, gives him some money, tells him, go home, kid. Nothing good's gonna happen here.
He's like, I want to fight Arlong. That'll go well.
Right. And so our boy Zoro, he's hanging out there. They're like, so you're Pirate Hunter Zolo? He's like...
Unfortunately.
Right.
In this country, yes.
Right. And Nami shows up. They're like, He goes, "Oh, Nami, what are you doing here?" And then she's like, "What happened? What's up with the bandages?" She's like, "Oh, ran out of clean laundry." Like, Zoro, you're inches from death, and you're just... I mean, don't get me wrong, like, that's pretty badass that you can make fucking jokes and shit, but...
And then, meanwhile, we see Usopp, like, fucking about in, like, this side village that's outside of...
It's like where all the houses are turned upside
down.
I know,
I remember the first time, I was like, what the fuck?
Right. You're like, and you don't know if this is just how everything is in this place?
Yeah, because it's One Piece, so it's like, you know, it's not that weird yet, but it's just like, it's not completely out of the realm of possibility.
Right. Yeah, we build our houses upside down. We also live upside down.
And Usopp, like, is about to confront a fisherman, but then this woman who turns out to be, later on, to be Nami's adopted sister is like, don't do that. But one of my favorite gags is when she, like, thinks he's a fisherman.
Yeah. Doesn't that happen to Usopp quite a few times where somebody thinks he's a fisherman?
Not that I can remember, but I remember it more a couple times in this arc, but maybe I'm forgetting it later on, we'll see.
Yeah, okay.
That would not be out of the realm of possibility if I forget a gag.
Right.
That happens a couple times.
Right. We should talk about, so Luffy, Sanji, and Johnny are on their way to join the rest of the crew. And they're talking about fishmen. Sanji's like, oh, mermaids. Okay, well, you know, mermaids.
That's what it's all about.
I mean, really. But Luffy draws like this it's just a fish with legs.
Yeah, like a stick figure fish. It's
with legs. I don't even know where he gets the paper from. Just pulls the paper out of nowhere. Draws this shitty looking fish, man.
It's rolling paper.
Right. Doesn't that design show up in like the background of?
Well, then he draws it with like hair.
Yeah.
Like girly hair. He's like, this is what a fishman looks like. He's like, no, a mermaid, and then he like draws hair on it.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Way later on down the line, it's like a background character in a shot or two.
That's funny. I'm glad that Oda remembered.
Yeah.
Oda remembers while Araki forgets.
You're not wrong at all.
I know.
So,
do you think Araki traded eternal youth for his memory? He just forgets to age.
I mean,
just like Zoro gets lost on his way to death.
I mean, it's possible. It wouldn't be the most out there thing that I've ever heard.
About Araki? Or?
About Araki. Well, what do most people say? He, like, drinks the blood of cats and shit?
No, he put the mask on and shit.
Or he drinks the blood of cats to maintain his eternal youth.
I have not heard the cat thing.
I might just be making it up.
But I don't know.
But they do say the blood of felines prolongs the human soul.
I don't think that's how that works.
Well, of course not. It's superstitious nonsense, but they say it.
Is that how, like, the Chinese think that if you eat rhino horn, your dick gets hard?
See, I've never heard that.
Why do you think they keep killing all the rhinos?
I don't know, ivory?
No, it's to eat the fucking horn so their dick gets hard.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
Doesn't the CEO of Jimmy John's kill rhinos?
I don't know. Maybe?
Is that why everybody hates him?
I don't know.
Doesn't he, like, kill the last white rhino or something?
I don't know. I didn't know everybody
There's like an armed guard around this one rhino, and then, like, Jimmy John is fucking in the trees.
Mr. Jimmy John.
James Johnson.
Shit. Is that the reckoning?
It's better than Jack Johnson.
I guess. Is that what the reckoning is?
The Papa John reckoning?
Yeah.
I mean, yes.
The final white rhino dies. That's the seventh seal.
Anyway. So, isn't this one like, when Nami gets there, is Arlong there? Does he show up?
He's there.
So the whole scene with Zoro, like where he like jumps in the water and she like pulls him out, and then she beats him up a little bit because she's like saving face or whatever.
Right.
Seemingly, although it's probably Arlong knows better. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows better. he's scheming on her regardless, but I doubt that he thinks that.
For all the characters who they talk like, oh, they've got all these secret plans, they've got master plans. Arlong is the only one who's, like, actually kind of works.
Yeah, and it's just, like, a simple...
Yeah. Because he's not out here trying to do extravagant bullshit like, I'm gonna fake my death, worm my way into this rich family, kill the only... the fucking... Captain Kurl's plan had to, like, rely on Kaya's parents' death.
Yeah. Well, isn't it implied he killed them?
Maybe? I don't remember.
I think that's what it's supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
But although I don't remember exactly. It's kind of unclear. I would imagine that way that's what happened.
Oh. Okay. Makes sense.
We're still continuing like the Nojiko and Usopp hanging out thing. So after the scene with Zoro and Nami, Arlong goes to Kokoyashi village. And that's when he's demanding payment or whatever, and
No. Mr. Genzo they caught him with a sword, or they saw him with a sword, and they're like...
Oh, yeah, and they go.
They're like...
But that's when you find out about that everybody has to, like, pay...
Right, yeah.
To live every year.
Right. Is it every year? I thought it was, like, once a month or something.
No, maybe it is once a month. It's like rent.
Right. Rent your mortal
Arlong hangs out on landlord forums. Have you heard about those?
Yes. Well, it's just like I saw like a tweet from some dude one day. It was like, tenant unions. Why don't we just get rid of private property altogether?
Oh yeah.
It's like, bruh, like
that'll work.
Well, and the funniest part is like you see these people like they wield like tenant renter laws like a sword against renters, and then when the renters use it against them, they're like, oh, I can't believe you do that to me.
After all I've done for you.
Right.
I've given you a place to live.
Right, in exchange for money. Won't even fix my fucking heat. You fucking asshole. It's it's fucking absolute zero outside.
Just because I tried to freeze you to death.
Right. Just because I changed the locks on you. Because you looked at me wrong.
Anyway. I think we have a problem.
Why?
The problem is meandering nonsense.
Isn't that like what our whole channel is?
I mean, yes.
So, what's the problem?
Never mind.
Okay.
And Usopp, like, is in righteous anger. Usopp, like, snipes. Isn't it, like, Arlong in the back? Or is it one of the other ones? He shoots one of them with the slingshot and then runs away.
Doesn't he shoot with an egg?
Oh, yeah.
That shit makes no fucking sense.
With the dude with the dick sucking lips? Chew?
Maybe.
Who goes,
might
chew, 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 chew.
Like he's a train?
Chew.
Yeah, that guy's different.
And
what? So
there's something very notable about this arc, because this is the first one that's really, really complex in terms of, because now we have a fairly large cast of characters,
right?
And they're all like going about their own things at different points. And I'm trying to make sure not to forget anything. So we
also have to remember. Okay, so Zoro escapes because Nami gives him his sword.
Yeah, and he finds Hachin.
Well, no, he like slaughters everybody.
Oh yeah,
at Arlong Park.
Then he tries to leave, and then that's when Hachin's there.
Well, Hachi's like, "Oh, are you a guest of Arlong?"
Yeah, he's like,
"Oh, we can't forget Arlong has like the Navy in his pocket too."
Yes.
And so Hachi's like, "Oh, are you a guest of Arlong?" He's like, yeah, something like that. Yeah. So
I was in there. Yes.
Hachi like takes him to Cocoa Village.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Usopp has run to Cocoa Village, run to Arlong Park to try and rescue Zoro.
And Luffy and Sanji punched and kicked a giant sea cow.
Yeah, the giant sea, a moo.
Yeah.
From the Grand Line. They gotta mention that he's from the Grand Line like every time.
So you know what they're in for.
Right.
This is what Don Krieg could not beat.
The giant ass sea cow.
Moo moo.
Anyway, just like the fucking constant running, like the chase of Usopp and Zoro, like around fucking from Cocoa Village to fucking Arlong Park and around.
Whenever like an art gets into the part where like all the characters are all running around constantly, like, oh, that new chapter of One Piece came out. Because that's what dudes will do for years. Literal real life years is be running around.
I know, that's the fucking craziest part. It's like guts of them being on the boat for like how many actual years?
8 real years.
God, 8 real years. But like the worst part is One Piece comes out every week on time, and they're still on the like running around for months on end. It's fucking insane.
I know.
There's just so much shit going on at once.
I know, you got 90 characters, and it just gets more and more.
Right. But yeah, I just did you want to mention the cover stories now?
I think the only one that's finished by this stretch of chapters is the buggy one, right?
Yeah.
So let's just cover it like between the two or at the end. Okay. I mean, there's not too much to say.
I also wanted to talk
about... yeah, we have to do it before Loguetown, I guess, but...
Yeah, I also wanted to talk about the one with Kobe. Because that kind of starts in here, too.
Well, I thought last time we said we were going to just cover them when they finish, so we're not spoiling anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And it just makes it easier than trying to, like... Be careful which ones you talk about, because they kind of run together, yeah. Or like which pages you talk about, but you don't want to spoil any.
Right. So, we also kind of forgot to mention that Arlong, they go, oh yeah, Arlong used to work for the warlord Jinbei.
Yeah, they bring up Jinbei now.
Right, and you're like, wow, dude, this guy named Jinbei must be fucking crazy. He's a government-sanctioned pirate?
Well, the thing is, the warlords are the highest status. We didn't mention this about Mihawk, but they mentioned he's a warlord, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the highest tier of character that we've seen so far.
Right.
And then he is
that we know
monstrous. Yeah. That's what I mean. And then we get to this, and they mention another one, and he's like, holy fuck.
Right. Because he's got a crew.
Yeah.
Are the emperors on par with the warlords? Like, in power-wise?
I don't want to get too much into it, but no. Not really. Generally, no.
Okay.
Generally, the warlords are not on par with the emperors, but I don't want to go into details for fear of spoilers, but...
Right. Well, can the warlords call in the Navy for help?
Not really. I mean, they probably could in certain circumstances, but no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, are the warlords just allowed to do whatever they want, essentially, as long as, like, the government doesn't care?
Yeah, I mean, yes.
So, like, whatever they want to do in the Grand Line's fine. Because, like, the government exerts little to no influence in the Grand Line, right?
That's not true. We'll see. We'll see. Because a lot of the big primary characters that we see early on are the warlords. Like, they're one of the first factions that we really, like, get entrenched in, like, dealing with some of the characters. So we'll kind of see examples of what they are and are not allowed to do and get away with a lot in, like, the first half of the story or whatever. So
right.
But for now, it's just like Jinbei is, like, incredibly imposing, because our only example of a warlord to go off of is
Mihawk,
the world's strongest swordsman, Mihawk.
Right.
So
right.
It's like, what the fuck?
Right.
Yeah. And this is...
And Mihawk doesn't even have a devil fruit.
Yeah. And this is Oda, just a perfect example of him putting I'm trying to think of what to call it, putting a breadcrumb at one spot. And he's not going to he's not going to leave the whole piece of bread for about, like, 400 chapters.
15 actual years.
Yes. Yes. That's how he does it.
That's perfect. I love it. Well, Mira kind of does the same thing with Berserk, though, a little bit.
To certain extents, yes, but it's not like One Piece is like off the hook.
Well, it just takes 15 years for shit to get explained because
there's also
one chapter comes out a year.
It's also just like way more complicated in terms of how many characters and factions and places and plots and shit.
Right.
I forgot what part we were at. Oh yeah, so we have Zoro is now like, well, Usopp. What happens with Usopp is he ends up at Arlong Park, back at Arlong Park eventually, and then Nami and him have a scene.
Yeah,
where
she just fucking stabs him. Yeah. It's wild. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Nami out here straight.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I mean, this is one problem with One Piece being the way it is, and I've brought this up a little bit, but like, there's certain things that are just certain twists and moments in the story are kind of cheapened just by the fact that, like, we're on chapter 900 and we know, like, you see the Straw Hats and all kinds of stuff. So everyone knows Nami is a fucking Straw Hat. You know what I mean?
Well, she's a Straw Hat right now anyway.
I know, but like...
If you asked Luffy, she never left with the crew.
But if you've seen modern marketing for One Piece, you can't read this and think that, like, she's actually, like, for real betraying them for, like, actual... Like, maybe you think she actually stabbed him.
Right.
It's possible, but you know under some circumstances she's going to end up with them because that's just, you know, unfortunately. That's just something unfortunate about the fact that, you know... Imagine if you didn't know anything about One Piece going into it, there'd be lots of little moments like that just work a lot better.
Right. Which, of course, is why you should read everything when it comes out.
Or just never look. You see, like, Luffy's head, you're like, fucking close your eyes, look the other way, fucking...
Right.
Wear blinders.
Right.
Burn the copy of Shonen Jump.
Yo, wear those Google Glass where, like, they can block real-life ads and shit, just set it to block anything One Piece.
That sounds incredible.
What? You never saw that, like, the video of that guy that walked around, like, had, like, the ad block glasses and shit?
No.
Yeah.
No, that sounds incredible. I want those.
Yeah, but, like, I think it also blocks out real-life signs and shit, too. So I don't think it's safe to drive with them. Maybe. I don't know. I'm curious to know how it works.
Like, lots of things I don't understand in this world, bro.
Like the plot of One Piece.
Speaking of the plot of One Piece, about this time is when, like,
Luffy, Sanji, and Sanji show up, right?
Yeah, they all
like, yo, she stabbed Usopp, bro. Yeah,
that's why they're flipping the fuck out, and then Usopp shows up, and doesn't Luffy say like he's a ghost or some shit?
No, like, Sanji and Zoro are fighting, which I love the fact that, like, the fighting between the two of them starts, like, immediately.
Yes.
Like, they're constantly fucking fighting.
Yeah.
And, like, Sanji goes to kick Zoro, and Zoro goes to hit him, like, with the scabbard of a sword, and they both meet in the middle with fucking Usopp's face. And they're like, oh, he is alive. And Zoro goes, unless you just killed him.
Yeah. I mean, Usopp could not die from a mere Sanji kick.
I mean, Usopp has some weird-ass stamina that doesn't... Inhuman stamina. Oh, he might be part fish man.
Well, I mean, this is One Piece. Like, that's the thing is, like, even at this point, like, in this arc, pretty sure, like, Usopp is, like, an Olympian level, like, sprinter.
Right. Dude's off the hook.
So people, like, might give him a little bit of grief because he's weak or whatever, because he can't, like, you know, punch, like, buildings that fucking out of the sky and shit.
Right.
But he is, like, he would beat Batman in a fist fight.
Who wins? Batman or Usopp? Both with preparation.
I mean, Batman will, like, invent the anti-Usopp fucking...
spray?
Pellet.
Right. Some dumb shit like that.
So... Now that they're all four together, Nojiko shows up again. She's like, well, let me tell you the story.
And Luffy, I love how Luffy's like, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
He just picks his nose. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. And then Zoro falls asleep, so Zoro doesn't hear it either.
I don't think Zoro cares.
No, Zoro doesn't care either.
He doesn't care about your backstory.
No.
All he cares about what you're doing now.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I talked about how Arlong Park in general was, like, the hook, but this specifically, and then the lead up to the fighting.
Right.
Like this whole section. So, what is it? It's not. Is it 10 years ago? The main part of it happens. Well, we see. They had mentioned earlier that Nojiko and Nami's mom was dead. Like they show the grave of it, and she mentions the grave to Usopp, I think. And then we see her like in the first time we see her, it's in like a fucking after a huge battle,
right?
And she sees like an obviously young Nojiko like holding a baby, right? And Bellamere, who's
their adopted mom,
yeah, and who's got a wild hairstyle.
It's different. I like it.
I like it too, but it is. I mean, it's quite different.
It's very punk. I like it.
Yeah. The part that really like sells it is the fact that there's like tiny bits of hair by like the bottoms of her ears.
Yeah. She's kind of almost got like almost like sideburns coming down and shit. Yeah. It's kind of neat. I like it. Oda draws incredibly good characters.
Yeah. Very memorable.
Right. And incredibly like hot girls.
Well, yeah, she's well known for his voluptuous ladies, yes.
Oda draws wives, bro.
I mean, something about these Japanese and wives.
Well, he literally married the real-life version of Nami. He tried to.
He literally said that after a certain point in the story, he draws Nami to look like his wife that he married.
That's boss.
I'm sure she feels complimented as well. Right.
Because Nami's like one of the best characters in the whole series.
For real. So, and here's why. This is the arc that shows you why. So then we flash forward to when Nami was a baby, obviously. Nami is like 8, and Nojiko's a couple years older than that.
10, right? I think, is what it's like. Because, like, the flashback from when Arlong first shows up is like 8 years. And Nami's like, what, 18, right?
I think so, yeah. Pretty sure.
So she's like 10.
Yeah.
She just doesn't look 10. Or maybe she does. I don't know. Anime. Everybody draws anime kids different.
Yeah. They just have big eyes and big heads and...
They all do.
I mean, yeah, but... What happens is they have... They're the same size head and body from the time they're like a toddler, and then everything else just gets bigger.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, so like Nami apparently already has a penchant for stealing shit.
Yeah, well, they're poor. Like Bellamere's really poor, and so she always has to like scrape by. She has a tangerine garden that she tends to, but they just don't make a lot of money. And
yeah, because they can't sell the tangerines that much.
Well,
especially that year because like the weather was too good, so everybody had tangerines.
And I mean, everybody, they're the village darlings because they're like some of the only kids that we see. I mean, we see a couple other ones, but like everyone really loves them. But
they're really precocious, and like they're like the kids of the former generation precocious child. So everybody, they're already like,
and she's like the hero because she went and fought in the Marines and
right.
came back after almost dying and all this other stuff. So. I mean, she's really respected, but at the same time, she's, like, sort of an outsider in terms of she lives off, and kind of by herself with the kids, and,
right.
she's not able to make a lot of money. But yes, Nami is, like, stealing cartography books, and...
Right.
And, like, Nojiko's always trying to knock some sense into her, but... I mean, it's because she stole the book that they get into the big fight, right?
No.
Or no, it's because the food. It's because the dinner.
No, it's because of like having to get a hand-me-down dress or whatever.
Yeah, or like Nami gets Nojiko's hand-me-down dress, and that's like. But we also see that like, Bellamere like hardly eats because she like spends all the money on food for the kids, and she just like picks at scraps and eats tangerines, and that's it.
Right.
And like, I think Nojiko kind of notices, and says something to her. She's like, "You're not eating anything." She's like, "Oh, I'm on a diet," or whatever.
Right.
Which is just fucked up.
Right.
That's too real, man.
Yes.
I mean, that's some shit. Like I've been through that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's right.
And Nami like flips out. And she's like, "You're not my real mom. Nojiko's not my real sister. I wish we weren't poor." And fucking Bellamere slaps her right across the face.
She has the blessed pimp hand.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Like, hard as fuck.
Yeah. I've been slapped like that. That's not fun.
But, in that moment, like, that would hurt. That hurts to hear from your, your kid,
Yeah. And that is her kid.
I know, yeah. It's just, but at the same time, she's like, God, Bellamere's such a good character for the fact she's in like 3 chapters.
Right.
Because you just know she's like beating herself up so hard. Like, what if I'd never saved him? Like, would that have been better? Would somebody who can handle them take care of him? It's just fucked up. Right. And Nami runs away, and
she goes to Mr. Genzo or whatever.
Yeah. And one thing I want to mention about Genzo, because I don't have a ton to say about him, but I like how we see him first in the present, and he's got like all these. Like, they look like scars. I mean, they look like the scars that Zoro has across his chest now, which is like a line with other lines in it, like a skeleton mouth or some shit. Right. Like cartoon stitches. Yeah. And he has them all over his body. And then when we see him in the past again, he does it. Right. Then, of course, we find out what happens to him that gives him scars and shit, but it's just, I like how we see him with scars first, but also, like, you don't necessarily know that they're scars when you see him. I mean, like, you're like, he's a weird looking dude, but it's one piece. Right. He
also has
that's just how his skin is. Like, that would be a very Oda thing to.
He also has a pinwheel on his hat.
Which is important, actually, to a certain extent.
Yeah, I like it.
And Bellamere decides to, like, cook a big dinner. Like, she saved up a little bit of money or whatever, so she goes out shopping.
She's gonna, we'll cook up a bunch of tangerines, and she got a duck. Yeah. Gonna have tangerine sauce with
she's blowing more money than she can afford to, but she just wants to have a big dinner. Right. And, because she feels bad. And so she's cooking away, and the smoke is pouring into the sky, bro. Yeah. It's pouring into the sky. That's when...
So Arlong and Co. show up, and they charge, what, $100,000 per adult and, what, $50,000 for...
$50,000 per head per kid and $100,000 per head per adult.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the berry to dollar?
One berry is like a penny.
Really?
A berry is like a yen, it seems like.
Okay.
Because then,
there's probably enough evidence to, actually get a real, exchange rate to, berry to USD, right?
Of course, people have tried to do it, but of course it takes place at some... You assume that it has an inflation point similar to, somewhere in the 14 to 1600s, right? Because that's sort of the equivalent time period. Right. But if we just base it off yen, 100,000 is 10,000, right? Because the yen's like a penny. So you divide by 100. Yeah.
It's not 1-to-1 like that. It's kind of weird, but it's pretty equivalent to $1. 1 yen is 1 US penny, I think.
So 100,000 would be $1,000. That gives us an idea. Right. And, what is it? What's the stat? 2/3 of Americans live paycheck to paycheck or whatever? Right. Imagine if you, had to, if a dude kicked down your door and said, give me fucking $500 per each kid you have. How many kids would be dead? A lot.
Most of them.
Open your bank account right now and give me a $500 per head per kid. Great. Well, family's dead. Right. We're all dead. Fuck it. Right. So, Arlong and Co. come in town, and they're all doing fucking, they're getting all their money, they're terrorizing the village, they're making havoc, and Genzo freaks the fuck out, and everyone in town knows that, there's no way Bellamere can, afford. Right. And so they're gonna keep it all a secret or whatever.
Right, that Bellamere's even there. Yeah. But they see the smoke, and they're like, oh.
Well, it wasn't... Nami didn't go back home yet. Nami was with Genzo, right? He was, gonna pay for her. Yeah. And...
Well, because... Yeah, because they couldn't prove whose kid she was.
Yeah. Because there was no papers or anything. Right. And then... But they start going to... They see the smoke and they start going to Bellamere's, and Nami flips the fuck out and runs to see her. And... Bruh, I can't with this.
It's fucked up.
This fucking scene, bruh. So, they kick down the door, and they...
Yeah. So, like, Bellemere pulls this wild-ass fucking CQC-ass shit, like, has a gun in Arlong's mouth.
Well, was Nojiko... Didn't Nojiko go to... She went to get Nami.
Yeah.
So she's with Nami, because that's important to the setup, because...
Because they show up and go, oh, you live by yourself, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And they fucking break her arm and shit, right?
Well, after they, like... after she does her sick-ass
CQC puts the gun in Arlong's mouth. Yeah, that's fucking hype as fuck.
Yeah.
Like that Marine training.
Right.
They're not all worthless.
I mean, honestly, most of them are. They probably all have, like, are pretty strong dudes.
I guess we don't know her rank either, so she could have been fairly,
Right. But
she didn't become a career. Well, that's another thing, too, is maybe she was, like, traumatized or whatever after that battle, because especially in the anime, it looks like fucking hell.
Right.
But maybe, like, she planned on being a career soldier because she was, I think it's implied that she grew up alone or poor, too. So that would give her, like, a stable place and job, but then she found the kids, so she couldn't.
That's too real, too.
I know.
That's how the actual...
And she could, like, pawn the kids off on somebody else, and she wanted to take care of them, so that's why she, like, willingly put herself back in a situation where she had no money.
Right.
But apparently she had 100,000 squared away, and Arlong's gonna let her live.
Right. And then he's like, but Nojiko and Nami show up, and they're like, oh, these your kids? And everyone's like, no, they're not her kids.
No, they're Genzo's kids.
Right, they're Genzo kids. And they're like, looking at him like, they got blue and orange hair. I don't know. That's kind of...
And then Bellemere does the greatest thing that's ever happened. And she's like, no, they're my kids. And, like, I got 100,000, so they're both gonna live. And then everybody loses their shit simultaneously.
Right.
And fucking...
She's like, I just can't say that they're not my kids.
Yeah, it's not worth it. I can't lie about that.
Right. She's like, fucking just bites it. It's so fucked up.
Fucking Arlong blasts her in the head.
Right. It's like...
That shit's different, especially with the music.
Oh, yeah.
That's one thing I'll say. There's lots of scenes in the anime and stuff. I mean, like I said in the last episode, I don't hate the anime. There's lots of scenes that it does really well.
Right.
And a lot of times when I think of certain scenes, like I think of the song that plays too. And just the music, the whole fucking scene. And just the way they frame it with like the fucking pistol going off and then it like pans far out.
It's like when you shoot the boss in MGS3.
Yeah. It is like that.
If all the tangerines just turned blood red in the fucking grove and shit, that'd have been different.
I mean, just fucking... Like, what... This might be like top 10 One Piece scenes, like, for real. Like, honestly, out of the gate, it's like...
Probably, yeah. Because at least, like, top 10 pre-time skip.
Because... And that would be enough. That would be enough, like... For the backstory to be, like, massively fucked up, but it keeps going.
How do you get worse from here? And it still gets worse. So they're, like, looking through the fucking house and shit, and they're like, hey, we found this map. And Nami's like, hey, that's my map. Don't touch my map. And they're like, you drew this map? I guess you're coming with us, kid.
Yeah, they fucking give her a tattoo and shit.
Well,
they sort of convince, they convince her.
Yeah, she shows back up in the village and she's got the fucking tattoo. She's like, I got all this money.
Yes, I got all this money. I joined the Arlong Pirates. And everyone loses their shit. Nojiko fucking hits her in the face, right?
Yeah.
She's like, how could you like dishonor the memory of our mother like that?
Right.
And then Nami's like, like on the ground crying. And she's like, look at all this money.
Right. It's like, you're immediate. When I was like,
you're like, she's 10, bro. Like,
right.
You have to. But then of course, we find out that like the only reason she joined is because Arlong cut her a deal.
Right.
That if she paid 1 million.
No.
Well, okay,
No, it's 100 million.
100 million.
Barry, yeah.
Is it 1 million per head then?
No. It's 100,000 per adult head. He just tells her like
an outlandish number.
He tells her, you give me 100 million. Is it belly? Is Belly the dollar and Barry is like the smaller?
No, we need
it just mistranslated all the time?
It's just differently translated. So we need to let's just decide: are we doing Belly or berries?
I don't.
Let's just do berries.
Okay, berries. 100 million berries.
Yeah. Just an outlandish number.
Right, but she manages to get pretty damn close.
Well, it shows the Arlong wanted poster. Do we see the amount on it?
20 million.
Yeah, but have we seen that at this point?
No, wait, no, it's 20,000.
No, it's
20 million. Is it 20 million?
Arlong is 20 million. I know for a fact.
Oh yeah, because I remember but
do we see
Luffy ends up at 30 million.
Yeah, but what I don't remember is if we see his poster.
We don't
amount before.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, even in retrospect, you see how outlandish that number is. It's 5 times his fucking
bounty.
Now, also to be fair, his bounty is probably a lot lower than it should be because he's been paying off like in the eyes of the government, he doesn't. Oh, he's not terrorizing this entire island,
right?
And owning it,
right? Well, I mean, also he might also be lower because he's affiliated with Jinbei.
I mean, it's just hard to say when he got that amount or like what.
Because, so when you become a warlord, your bounty doesn't go to 0, right? It just freezes where it's at.
You just don't have a bounty anymore. But yes.
Oh, it does become 0.
I mean, effectively, yes, because you.
Nobody's going after you.
If I were to go kill Jinbei and turn him in, I'm not going to get a reward because he doesn't have a bounty. Because he's a government agent. I would get in trouble.
Oh, I thought it was like they were just government-sanctioned pirates. Their bounty couldn't go any higher. They still had a bounty, and if somebody the government doesn't give a fuck about them because they're still pirates.
No, they're not going to pay out because if you attack a warlord, that's attacking a government agent.
I just thought they were just like dudes who the government just looked at.
I mean, they do, but if it's the One Piece government, so any loophole nonsense they don't even need loophole nonsense. They will just do whatever, as we'll see many times. But whatever the rules work, whatever rule works more in their favor, like if the options to them are pay you $445 million for killing one of our guys or put you in jail for doing it, they're just gonna put you in jail because why the fuck wouldn't they?
Right. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up when I think about it.
Yeah, they're not gonna pay out. That's just not their style.
Right. Yeah.
But it's just an absolutely absurd number, is the point.
Right.
So now we see, there's a little bit more of the backstory, but now at this point we sort of grasp, we get it. We get this is where Nami's character sort of clicks.
Right.
Because not only has she been poor her entire life, but she's literally scraping together money to buy everyone's lives.
Right.
Everyone she cares about's lives, unlike her mom was able to do for herself.
Right.
And you're like, oh.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And here's the thing is, Luffy doesn't know any of this and is still no, I don't, I'm gonna help you no matter what. Yeah, because it just shows, Luffy's, how, the breadth of Luffy's character.
Yeah, because he doesn't,
he doesn't give a fuck.
Arlong was a prick to Nami, that's all. The details don't matter.
You made my navigator cry.
Yeah.
That's my thesis statement for your ass beating.
Yeah, that's my thesis statement, full argument, and conclusion.
for your ass beating. This is why I'm beating your ass.
Yes, exactly. And I'll win, too.
Right.
Cart you off to prison and shit.
Nah, wait. What does end up happening with Arlong after they beat him?
He goes to prison. I don't think he goes to Impel Down.
Why would they send a jobber to Impel Down?
They send...
Isn't Hachi able to run around and stuff? So they don't all go to jail, right?
No. Some of them escape or whatever, and it's just if they're to a certain extent Arlong is fairly low level. So you don't administer bounties for worthless,
Right.
At least not government issued bounties. Maybe each country has the individual country has a bounty on the guy.
Right, okay.
And it's sort of, I don't know if it's revealed immediately here, if we get back to the present and then it's sort of revealed, but they know. The villagers know that she's faking. Yeah. And they just play along, which Nami doesn't know.
Right.
They just pretend to hate her guts and shit every time she shows up.
Right.
And she's hiding all the money in
the Tangerine Grove.
Yeah.
And
which is her at Nojiko's house too.
Right. Yeah.
When she's there. She's not there very much.
Yeah. Nami shows up. in the house, trashes it. Nojiko shows up like, what's your deal? Like, why do you tear up the house every time you show up? And Nami starts talking about how, like, they start talking about the Straw Hat crew and how Nami was, like, all happy and whatnot. And Nojiko goes, friends, the hardest word for that girl to say. It's like, damn, that's fucked.
I like Nojiko a lot for the amount of screen time she has. She's very,
she's great.
I like that she's a tattoo artist, for one. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she did the tattoos on herself, and she does the one on Nami at the end of this arc.
I thought the doctor did.
I don't think so.
No. Yeah, because like she's like, Doc, I want you to give me this tattoo.
Oh, then what does she do?
She grows tangerines.
Well, that's obviously not a profitable venture. She needs to get she needs to become a tattoo. I don't know. She's just covered in tattoos. I like her design. Let's put it that way. For some reason, I remembered her.
She has one tattoo. She's not covered in tattoos.
That's like both of her arms.
No, it's one arm. It's one arm and up to her chest. I'm pretty sure. She's not on both of her arms.
You're probably right. And back in the present, now, like, of course, Usopp and Sanji are like, Sanji's like, oh, Nami has suffered so much.
Right.
And Usopp's like, damn, that shit's rough, bruh.
Right.
No, just because, like, now you know, and Luffy's like, know what?
I know, huh?
He's like, I'm hungry.
Right. And then, so the Marines show up. First, we gotta talk about, like, the first group of Marines show up, get fucking ass blasted by the 3 top dudes in Arlong's crew.
Yeah.
The Kiss guy, Hachi, and the karate guy.
Yeah.
They get fucked. And then they shoot a fucking exploding cannonball at Arlong and he just bites it.
Yeah. That's hard.
Yeah, I'm like, that's pretty impressive. 2 BH with you, my dude.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to do that.
No, I don't think I would either. No.
I would die.
One Piece dudes are able to survive things that, like, normal people should die from.
At the very beginning, like immediately from the beginning of the story, they're able to survive.
Like Zoro should have been dead, like, a couple days. Not maybe a couple days after, like, being tied to the post. Because you can't have your arms stretched out like that and be able to breathe.
Also with no food or water and out like the sun constantly.
Right, he should have been dead. Straight up dead.
They should have just had him crucified.
He was crucified.
I know, but like off the ground.
You don't need to crucify somebody off the ground.
No, but they should have.
Why?
That would have been hard as fuck.
Yeah, but like, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time and resources. The Romans were just assholes.
Well, the Marines in Shelltown needed all the resources they could get to work on the Axe-Hand Morgan statue.
Right. The fucking statue.
Yeah, that was extremely expensive to make.
Right. But it breaks immediately.
Yeah, I mean, they should have spent more on
it. Sure, okay.
But it was also extremely expensive.
Right. It's just dumb, like... Anyway.
And this is the point. Nami has like
93 million.
Yeah, so right on the cusp.
Yeah.
Like
she's literally saying like one more voyage, like one more like big score and it's done. We're done.
Well, and that's the thing is like she's coming back with bigger and bigger amounts every time too because she's getting better and better.
Right.
So yeah. Like, even though she's only 93%.
Right.
Like, she's getting better and better at it, and...
Like, her next haul, like, she could come back with profit. And that'd been, like, different.
I mean, a lot of profit.
And Arlong is, like, talking about, he's like, I will honor our deal. I won't break. I die before I break our deal. And he, like, calls the Marines. And the Marines show up, confiscate the money and everything, because she stole it from pirates. And shit. And they're like, you may have stolen it from pirates, but the pirates stole it from somebody else, and it belongs to them. So we're going to confiscate all this money.
But we don't know who it goes back to, so I think we're going to have to keep it.
Right. Right. It's like what the police do with drug money.
Yeah. This drug money could be anybody's. We better put it back into the system.
Right. Right. Anyway.
Are police departments the number one drug money launderers in the country?
Yes.
In the world?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Because they're, like, half the time, too, like, you always find out about, like, these police departments where the cops are, like, dipping into evidence and, like, selling the evidence drugs to people. So they're making, like, double profit.
God damn. Alright, we're gonna arrest the drug dealer. Take all this crack cocaine.
And then
and the money.
And the money.
We're gonna
sell his crack cocaine. For double the money.
And keep the original money.
Right.
And then we're gonna arrest the guy who buys it.
Right.
Take the crack cocaine back. It's like in Grand Theft Auto when you get a hooker, and then after you get into the car, you kill her and get your money back.
Right. Bro, like, the police are literally a cartel.
Yeah, this is an accurate depiction of...
Like, the U.S. government.
Yeah, because he plus the dude looks like a cat.
No, he looks like a mouse.
Oh, yeah, I guess he does, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a mouse. He's like, he is. He's like,
Yeah. He kind of looks like Mr. Ratburn.
No. Maybe a little bit.
Mr. Ratburn's husband.
I forgot Mr. Ratburn was gay.
Gay for learning.
No, literally, like...
I know. I know.
I like how that was one of the things that, like, we always joked about for years. Like, oh, Ratburn's gay. And then, like, they literally had him get gay married.
He just did it for the economic benefits.
Of course, why not? Oh, yeah. So, Arlong is just like, and Nami, like, runs up and is like, yo, what's up with this? He's like, what part of our deal did I break? What part of the deal did I break? And she's like...
He's like, I said if you brought me $100 million, I'd let you go and I'd free the village. Well, where's $100 million?
Right. He's like, I guess you'll just start over.
And the Nami eyes when she gets, like, freaked out or pissed, where, like, because normally she doesn't have a pupil. Like, her eye is just just the solid block of color or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, it gets red around the edge of the anime, but it's just, like, her fucking face.
Yeah.
It's just, like, you just wasted your whole fucking... You just wasted 8 years, idiot.
8 years of your life, bro.
Idiot.
Right. Get good, loser.
You trusted me, and then the fucking laugh, and he's like, rah, 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 rah.
Right.
You're like, all right.
And then so all the villagers go, and they're like, we're done with this. This is over. We're gonna kill Arlong or die in the process. This is how this is gonna go.
And by that, we mean die in the process.
Yeah.
Because we'd rather die free than live as slaves.
Like Bellamere.
Yeah.
Bellamere was an OG.
Yeah.
Bellamere is an OG.
She died free, bro. That's the whole point of One Piece.
Right. She's like, I die before I suffer dishonor.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, alright, cool. So, like, Nami's, like, in the middle of town, like, with a fucking knife. She's like, you motherfuckers move, I'll stab you. And they're, like, all just walk around her.
Yeah, they're like, we know. They're like, you've done enough. She's like, no, I failed. They're like, you did all you could. We waited 8 years. We have to take our own lives into our own hands. And she just falls down, like, broken. Like, what the fuck do you do at that point?
Right. And then Luffy's walking up, like, picking his nose. And she's like...
She starts stabbing herself in the fucking tattoo.
She's like, Arlong. She's fucking just starts stabbing her arm and shit.
And cutting the tattoo out and shit.
Yeah. And then, like, Luffy shows up. He's just standing there. She starts throwing dirt at him. She's like, I told you to leave. Leave me alone. This is not... I don't want you here. And then she's like, stops. And goes, Luffy, help me. And he's like, walks up. Puts his fucking hat on her head. She gets the flashback where it's like... Don't touch my treasure. And you're like, fuck.
You're like,
is this where the ship sails?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. This is that itself, just the entire scene, and then he like just turns around.
He goes, fuck yeah, I'm gonna help. And then oh my god. Especially in the anime, it's fucking cool.
With the song?
Yeah, but like he walks up to the homies, like Zoro's sitting there with the sword hanging, and like Sanji's standing there smoking. And Usopp's just, like, checking his shit, and they're like, let's go. And they had, like, the coolest fucking walk to Arlong Park. It's, like, the dopest shit ever, especially in the anime, because it's got the song to it. It's fucking, it's based. And then everyone's there, and, like, Johnny and Usaka were like, yeah, we tried to fight him. We failed. You're not going in there. We're waiting for that crew. There's a certain crew that
we're waiting for those men.
Yeah, the crew to show up. And then so they get there, right? And you're just like, you're inside Arlong Park, and like the dudes are talking to Arlong, and they're like, oh, I forgot to mention, this is one of my favorite parts, is like, after Zoro beats all the dudes in Arlong Park, he's sitting like a pimp in Arlong's chair.
Oh, yeah.
That's like the coolest scene ever. So Arlong's sitting there, like, yucking it up, and they're like, he's just standing there, and then all of a sudden the fucking door explodes. He's like, oh, what's going on here? And Luffy's like, which one do you use Arlong? He goes, me, what's your problem? Then fucking just punches him, he goes flying, and everyone's like, oh my god, he made Arlong go flying. Like, yeah. It's fucking dope. He's like, which one do you use Arlong? And he fucking just punches him.
Blasting him across the fucking courtyard.
Right.
You're like, Luffy's the greatest character ever written.
Right. And I saw him reading this, and I text Tyler, I'm like, bro, is like pre-time skip Luffy just like still hella strong, or is Arlong just that shitty?
Yeah, we can go into that now, because Luffy has not had very much trouble with anybody so far.
No, not really.
But here's...
like we said in the last video, it's like, it's more circumstance than anything that like hinders Luffy.
And that's because Luffy is monstrously strong.
For like, discernibly no reason.
That we know. I mean, he's spent... I think the inference you can make is that he's spent most of his time, like, since, like, getting pushed around by bandits and seeing Shanks get, like, his arm bitten off. He spent most of that time getting stronger. Like, that's his main goal.
Yeah.
So, it makes sense now that he's strong, but it's just also counter sort of to what you expect from a shonen series, is that, like, Luffy doesn't have to try for a long time.
Right.
Because he just sort of, like...
he kind of has to try in this fight a little bit, but he's still fucking around.
Yeah, like, yeah.
What fight does he actually have to start trying in?
We'll get there. I don't want to spoil it.
Oh, okay, I know what it is. I know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, he's constantly fucking around and goofing because he just doesn't, like, he's not worried about it.
Honestly, because at first you're like, you just think because he's too fucking dumb to, like, grasp the concept that he might die. But no, it's just because he's too strong to care.
Yeah, I mean, not that he cares about death.
No.
But he's not worried about losing.
No. That's, like, kind of hype.
Yeah. Because he just, I mean... one aspect of it is that, like, he's conceited in a way where he doesn't think, he can't see himself losing because he's so self-confident that it's like, I'm gonna be the Pirate King, I will win because I have.
Right.
But on the other hand, like, he also knows that he's a tough motherfucker. Like,
yeah. Right. It's the best part. So, he fucking punches Arlong across the courtyard. And then Moo shows up. And Moo was like, oh fuck, it's these guys. It's
that crew.
Right? It's like, oh my... because they kicked Moo ass.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh shit. It's these fucking dudes. And like, Arlong's like, you really gonna run away, Moo? And Moo was like, I don't know, who do I want to fuck with more? Arlong or these dudes?
It's like, who's gonna kill me harder?
Right. Turns out it was Luffy. Because Luffy, like, stomps his feet into the concrete, picks Moo up, fucking spins it around and just chucks it.
And everyone's like, oh no!
And everyone's like, holy shit, what? Could you imagine being like a dude who's just like watching this fight go on in real life? You just see a dude stretch his arms, pick up this giant sea cow, spin it around and throw it.
Like miles.
miles away.
Like, you can't see it anymore and shit.
Right.
They're
like Team Rocket style fucking chucked this bitch.
They're like,
They're
like, he's gonna win?
And Arlong's like, you have the power of the devil fruit. And you're like, did you not see him punch you from 40 feet away?
And also, then Luffy's like, oh, my feet are stuck in the ground, fuck.
And he's like, I'm an idiot. So Arlong like just picks him up out of the ground, like with the concrete around his feet, and just chucks him into the water. He's like, yeah, you're gonna die now. You can't swim. So he also mentions like, oh, the sea takes the will to live from devil fruit users. Is that like true, or is that something that comes out later?
It's to a certain extent, it's like weird translation. It's not even weird translation. It's just that a lot of the time stuff is described sort of in a metaphorical way.
Right.
But then when it gets translated, you sort of take it as more literal, especially because One Piece is usually pretty literal.
Right.
But it's more, when you get in a certain depth of water, you cannot move any part of your body. So you obviously have no ability to swim.
Right. I just thought like you forgot how to swim. Like,
No,
literally
you physically cannot.
Oh, you just physically can't move.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
And it like saps your strength and shit.
Oh, okay.
So you're very like weak and frail feeling. Like
what a wild power. Like, oh, you get this cool ass ability, but you can't swim and like once you hit a certain depth of water, you're just useless. And like, guess what 95% of this planet is covered in? Fucking water.
Well, that's what's genius about it, is that it's a fucking, literally, like, if the boat sinks, you die.
You are fucked.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be like, I can't even think of anything equivalent. It'd be like, you get a superpower, but you can't walk on land.
Right.
Like, what are you gonna do?
Right.
Get to sit in a car for the rest of your life?
Right. Or, you can breathe in space, but you can't, like, breathe air anymore or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's just wild as fuck.
You can't breathe oxygen anymore.
Yeah. But that's where your house is.
Right. Right. Dumb as hell. That's crazy.
But, I mean, it's just...
It's not dumb. It's genius, really.
It's just so simple. But it's also, like, no one else would think to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it seems so, like, like, it doesn't matter.
It's almost like a Faustian bargain. You get all this great strength, but, like...
When you might get a shitty power, too, you don't know what the power's going to be. You have...
Unless you plan it somehow.
Yeah, there's a small select few people in the world who have the knowledge to be able to, like, plan what they're going to get. But for 99% of people who would eat a devil fruit, it's just...
Right.
Here we go.
You can, like, get the... Turn yourself inside out, no me, fruit.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want that?
Like the fucking... I'm trying to think of, like, the shittiest devil fruit.
The rust guy.
Yeah, he's got a... Yeah. It's a dude who turns into a jacket.
Oh, yeah, that guy's... That's lame. No, I don't know. That's not necessarily lame. That's an easy way to, like, get into places, though.
Well, he looks like himself, though. He's still got a face and shit.
Oh.
We'll see. That's a long time from now. But you'll see.
It's a pretty lame devil fruit power.
Yeah.
There's just devil fruit, you just die.
Yeah, I mean, there probably is.
You just die after you eat it?
And there's a stand that actively wants you to kill yourself so it can turn on. So.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Wonder if there's a devil fruit that activates when you die.
Well, there is.
No, that's what I'm hinting at.
Oh.
Is that fruit.
I just meant, like, you eat the fruit and you just literally just drop dead.
Well, I know, but... Who knows?
Yeah. The ghost fruit. It's a Zoan-type fruit. You can fucking turn into a fucking ghost.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah, just turn it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't be... Who fucking knows, man? Might be out there somewhere.
That'd be fucking kind of cool. Oda is listening to this right now. Yeah. He's taking notes.
I know, he learned English just to listen to us talk about One
I'm sure
Piece.
he knows at least fair bit of English. Doesn't like every Japanese person have to take English in like school?
Yeah, but so what percentage of Americans have to take Spanish? A lot. You know?
Yeah, but they like take it from like elementary school up. Like they're taking it like almost their whole life. Right?
I don't know.
I think that sounds right.
Unfortunately, what sounds right doesn't mean it's correct.
The only thing I know about Japanese high school is from anime, so
So, probably not a very accurate reflection.
You never know.
But probably.
Maybe.
But probably maybe a sort of not accurate reflection.
Sure, okay. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
To make a long story short, and not to describe the action in excruciating detail, we get the every dude fights a dude sort of scene. So we get the karate guy fight Sanji.
Yeah. He's like, the best part, like, is like, there always a scene where they get their ass beat, and then they get back up and they're like, I'm not gonna lose this fight. And like, they have their cool one-liner, and then they beat their guy, right? Yeah. Like, Sanji's like, oh, you hit me with your 40th Dan punch? Yeah, well, the kicks that shit geezer used to hit me with must have been 400th Dan. It's like, huh?
That's what the fucking dude is like. You're like, huh? What the fuck are you talking about?
Yo, Sanji fucks that dude up, though.
Well, what I want to mention just about this fight, the most interesting part is that Sanji's trying to, like, break the rock that Luffy's feet are attached to so he can, like, get him out of the water. But the fishmen are better, and they're, like, stronger in the water than they are on land and shit. So he's, like, fucking throwing shit at him and fucking trying to drown Sanji and shit.
Right.
And so that's a big part of the fight, and that's just, like, the most interesting part of the fight.
Well, what I was going to say was, like, Sanji, like, I don't know if this is actually, like, true about fish, but he's like, fish die when air is forced through their lungs. These fishmen breathe through lungs when they're breathe through gills when they're in water. I'm gonna breathe through this guy's gills. He does, and like the dude's like, like Sanji swims back up, gets some air, gets back on land, and it's like, shit, I better not go back in there. And then like the guy gets back up in the out of the water. He's like, I can't believe you literally just did that to me. So they fight some more. And Sanji starts breaking this dude down like he's like breaking down a side of cow. It's fucking wild. He's like, I'm gonna kick you in the neck, then I'm gonna kick you in the leg, then I'm gonna kick you in the chest. And you're learning all these French words.
You know, all these dishes and shit.
Right.
He's like, I'm about to make fish sticks.
So finally he beats the dude, jumps back in the water, swims down, fucking breaks the rock. Meanwhile, while Sanji's fighting his dude, the karate guy.
Yeah, Karubi, I think his name is, but it doesn't matter.
I don't know. Zoro's fighting Hachi, who is like borderline stupid.
Borderline. I just love that he just has like, of course the octopus would be the swordsman and that fights Zoro because he just has to have more swords.
Right?
He has to have double the swords.
He's like, how can your 3 swords beat my 6?
This is my 6-sword style. It's like spraying ink and shit. Is that okay?
and Zoro's like, yeah, well, my swords are heavier. And Hachi's like, yeah, well, these swords are like 20 pounds each. What do you mean? What are you talking about? My swords are heavier. You can't beat the heaviness of my swords. And you're like, huh?
And then Zoro breaks his swords.
Right. And cuts his hands and shit. He's laying there half dead.
He's the fucking tornado.
Right. And then, so Hachi goes down to try and stop Sanji. And Zoro kind of gets up and is like, laying still would keep the wounds from opening. And Arlong looks at him, he's like, yeah, you should probably just keep laying there, you know. You're bleeding a lot. And he goes, I'm talking about the octopus man. And you see this blood spray just come up. And Arlong's like, huh? He picks Zoro up. He he's like, what's up with these bandages? Fucking tears the bandages off. He's like, what is this scar?
He's like, you fought like this? Zoro's like, ow.
He's like, oof. Arlong's like, I need to kill you right now. And he's like, are these the eyes of a man who's about to die? And Zoro's just kind of like looking at him. Doesn't look like he's gonna die.
No. He's gonna watch you die, maybe.
Right. And so, and then Usopp hit the Chew dude and, like, runs away.
Yep.
And then he eventually lights him on fire and hits him with a hammer.
Like Chew follows him and he, like, fucking, like, baits him, runs behind a tree, hits him with an egg, like, throws a fucking liquor bottle at him and lights him on fire and shit. Leaves him lying in the grass.
Hits him with a hammer.
Yeah.
Usopp hammer just fucking hits him. It's like simultaneously like the dumbest and like one of the most gruesome things.
Yeah. Just actually just hitting him with a regular hammer.
Right. Like that dude might be dead.
Usopp don't fuck around.
Barely not. And he's like
Usopp fights to kill.
Usopp's like, when I left my home to become a pirate, I left the life of without luxury and safety. And he's like, being a pretend pirate ends now. And Chew's like, what? What'd you say? I didn't hear you. And he's like, nothing. And then shoots him. Maybe that's why he hit him with a hammer so he'd forget.
I like how they joked a little bit about like just how much everybody talks.
Right.
Of course they're going to talk a bunch because, you know, that's just how it is.
Right.
But it's just funny.
Right. So Luffy escapes from the rock. Well, Nojiko and Genzo go down in the water and, like, start, like, giving him chest compressions to pump the water out of his neck. Because they stretch his head all the way up out of the water.
So he can breathe so he doesn't fucking die. Right.
So he escapes. And, like, shoots all the water out. And Arlong looks over and goes, Arlong Park doesn't have any fountains. It must be the rubber guy. Like, no shit. Glad we figured that one out.
I like how Arlong is just so cocky that he's like, just watches the whole time.
Right.
He's like, yes, I'll win. As each one of his dudes is killed.
Yeah. And he's like,
I'll just kill them all myself.
He's like, he gets mad. He's like, you beat my most important crew members.
He like, seemed like it. He give a fuck. Does he ever seem to give a fuck about his dudes, really? Very much? He's not actively asshole-ish to them. Or I remember he's mad when he gets back after Zoro beat them. Right. Because he's like, what the fuck? These are my dudes.
Right.
You can't beat up my dudes, he's my bros.
Right.
So like, whatever, on that hand, I guess. But he's not like...
They're his brothers.
But like, when they get beat, he's not like, no! You know?
Right. Okay, so here's my thing, right? So Arlong this whole time is talking about how, like, the fishmen are superior species and this shit. But you find out later, like, fishmen are slaves, like, a lot. If they're so great, why are they slaves?
Numbers, mostly. It's a numbers game.
I guess. He's like Magneto. He's like worse Magneto.
Well, it's going to be a long time before we get as much into the Fishman stuff as we do in this arc, but I have a lot of my feelings on the overall Fishman situation come up again in an arc way later down the line. That's
right.
That recontextualizes a lot of, and that's a super strong point of One Piece that has not come up very much yet, but like you often get like a lot of details about a character way later on. So
right.
Most of what we know about Arlong, we don't know until way later in the story.
Right.
It's just funny that he's beaten so early.
Right. It's just like, you almost feel like Arlong's hanging out there because Jinbei, like, kicked him out because he's too fucking incompetent to actually, like, do anything.
Well, how I see it...
He's like...
At this point is that he really only cares about just, like...
Making money.
Making money and just... He talks about wanting to go on a bigger rampage. I think he just goes to the weakest sea because it's the easiest.
Because he's incompetent.
Yeah, I mean, because... And it's not even that he's, like, super, super weak. It's just that he doesn't care about anything except just being a fucking asshole. Like, he has no goals of, like, I want to be stronger, or I want to achieve something. He's just like, I just want to wreak havoc on humans because I hate them.
Right.
You know? When we'll see sort of where that comes from in his personality later, but that's where it is now, and it's just like he has no aspirations or goals, or that's why he just like kind of fucks around and just sits there for 8 years literally doing nothing, because he gets to torment humans and that's enough.
Right.
At this point in his life, that's all I care about, is making other people suffer.
Well, according to him, his grand plan is to make maps of the whole world so that he can take over the whole world for the Fishman Empire.
Yeah, he has to know better than that. There's no way you know what I mean?
Right. I don't know. Don't ask me, Brad. Anyway, so Luffy and Arlong start fighting again.
Like for realsy this time.
Yeah. Arlong starts using shark darts.
Yeah.
He's just jumping in the water and just jumping back out. Luffy makes a net out of his fingers, which is like kind of creepy.
It is a little bit.
It's kind of gross if you put it in, like, take it out of context. It's like, ugh.
What the fuck?
Because it shows him like with his fingers intertwined.
Yeah.
Then he throws it.
You ever like be doing something, kind of dirty or whatever with your hands, and you like look between your fingers, like, what the fuck is that? Like, there's something weird in there? Like, what he did, like, that's what Arlong jumped into.
Ew. Ew. And Luffy doesn't wash that often.
Luffy ain't a bathing type of fella.
No, he's not. Gross.
God. Why do we think about that?
I don't know.
You know how there's like toe jam? What's like finger jam? Toe jam and finger jam.
Gross. Feel bad. I almost feel bad for Arlong a little bit.
Arlong did nothing wrong. Arlong did everything wrong. Arlong did nothing right.
Right.
Like, why would you let Nami do anything? Just break her. Just break her, and then she'll draw maps for you forever, and you can actually sail around and make her draw maps. But like, he gives her hope. Because that's how he's not.
Because in his mind, she's never going to be able to do it anyway, and giving her the glint of hope is like worse to her.
That's what I'm saying. He cares more about her suffering than him achieving anything, because he does. In retrospect, he has to know that his goal is inachievable. There's no way he can do it by the way he's going about it.
Right.
That's like, I'm trying to think. That's like me building fucking Nerf guns in my shed and being like, I'm gonna fucking fight every military in the world. Literally, that's an equal comparison.
Right.
Like,
okay, Chief. Have fun with that one.
Yeah, you're gonna do that.
Okay.
Like, and there are characters that exist in this world so strong, they would blink at you and you will die. Like, right. For real, no cap. That's what's gonna happen.
In just in the beginning of the Grand Line, if they would have sailed even a little bit close to Loguetown, Smoker would have kicked his ass.
Yeah. Because Smoker wouldn't fuck around with that.
No.
He's like, I paid off Nizumi. I think that's the Mouse Marine's name. He's like, I paid off Nizumi. And Smoker's like,
you did what now?
I'm gonna fuck. You'll both go to jail.
I'm gonna kick his ass and I'm gonna kick your ass.
You're about to get smoked.
I'm gonna kick your ass a little bit harder because you're a pirate.
And a fishman.
You dirty fishman.
And he got a gross nose.
Right? Especially after Luffy broke it.
I like how Arlong's got the regrowing teeth.
Oh yeah, and he pulls them out and Luffy punches out his teeth and puts him in his own mouth so he can bite Arlong with him. It's
like that's him fucking around. Like he's
not serious.
He's goofing.
He's not serious about this fight at all.
It's just so fucking.
He's like, now I have sharp teeth. And Arlong's like, yeah, you may have sharp teeth, but you don't have the jaw strength that I do.
Like, what the fuck are you doing?
And
Luffy's like, what do you mean?
I love at one point, Arlong bites into his arm, and Luffy, almost picks him up and, hip throws him into the ground, and everyone's like, man, if, what strength of will. If he would have taken one step back, he would have lost that arm. And I'm like, I don't think Luffy even thought about it. I think he's just like, well, I guess I can just slam him into the ground.
He's like, that hurts.
Right?
He's like, ouch.
Oof.
That's the most complicated thought Luffy has. Fight, ouch, meat.
Right.
Fun.
Like Pirate King.
Yeah.
Pirate King, that's all it is.
I mean, pretty much.
Shanks.
And eventually the fight ends up in the Arlong Park, which is like this pretty tall, like, it's like a gazebo looking thing almost, but it's like just obviously not hollow. Or what do you call that type of building?
A pagoda?
There you go. Why did I say gazebo? Gazebos are like fucking, like not patios, like porches.
Yeah, it's like a covered porch.
Yeah. I'm in a pagoda.
Yeah, it's a pagoda. Pagodas are hollow. They're just towers, dude.
Well, Arlong Park's not hollow.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it's a building. It's a regular building. That's
So
what I mean.
pagodas.
It's not. That's what I meant. Gazebos are empty. They're not buildings. They're not like building.
Yeah. Okay. I was just like confused. I'm like, I thought you thought that like pagodas were just empty structures.
No.
I'm like,
I just mixed up the words.
Right. I'm still confused. I'm sorry.
No, it's like a house. You know, obviously they all live in there. I guess I don't know. You don't see anybody's review. Eventually, the fight ends up.
My question is, so how long did they just take over a building and call Arlong Park then? Because they're like, it doesn't seem like it's too long for they're like, here's your room, Nami. You got your pens, you got your shackles. There's your desk. Get drawn.
I don't know, because why would that building be there?
Right.
And
how fast does it take to build Arlong Park?
There's something about the architecture of Arlong Park that I can't really call attention to without sort of revealing a spoiler. So I won't do it now. But there's a structure later on that sort of seems to inspire the Arlong Park, so it leads me to believe that it was built by them. But it's just weird. Maybe the timeline of it is kind of weird. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Maybe like it's after they built it, and then that's when they let her in. Like,
yeah.
Here's your room, Nami.
Yeah, because we don't know the exact time frame of that either.
Right.
Like that could have been
sometime after. Okay, that makes sense.
It's not like we see them walk her in and show her room or whatever.
Right.
But anyway, speaking of Nami's room, they go in there and it's just like fucking wall to wall, fucking
maps and books,
map stacks.
And like Luffy's looking at this pen, he's like, "There's blood on this pen. I'm gonna fuck you up now."
He's like, "I'm mad." And then that's when he gets mad.
Right. Because Arlong has like his sawtooth sword or whatever. It's got like shark teeth saw blades on it. Yeah. And he's like got it around his head. And Luffy grabs it. He's like, "Why won't this move?" And that's the moment when you know like Luffy's way too fucking strong to be like, he's just gonna fuck him up.
Yeah.
He's just like,
and that's the end of the fight. Although I just want to mention the part where he breaks Arlong's nose because it's.
Well, yeah, because Arlong bites him in the neck. Yeah. He's like, "Fuck you!" Breaks his nose. Arlong lets go, and then Luffy shoots his leg up into the air. He's like, no axe or whatever, and brings the whole fucking building down.
Yeah, he could have did that from the beginning.
Right. Just think about that. If Luffy was at all serious, Luffy could have just fucked up everybody in the first chapter they show up in. Yeah. That's just wild to me. Can you imagine if he hit Arlong with the door when he punched it? Arlong would have disintegrated.
Probably. I don't feel so good, gang.
He would have the door to hit him and he would have exploded into meat.
Fish meat.
Fish meat, right?
And then Luffy would have ate his ass. Is eating a fish man cannibalism?
No. Though I do have to mention the fact that Oda in one of the SBSs had to explain that fishmen have children like regular humans do. Because somebody asked him do fishmen lay eggs?
Lay 100 eggs?
Well, obviously not.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because... Well, yeah, fair enough. Well, it's kind of cannibalism, though.
It's half cannibalism.
Yeah.
Is eating a chimpanzee cannibalism?
No, but you can't breed with a chimpanzee.
Can humans breed with fishmen?
There are half fishmen here.
Oh. Is the first fishman from a person fucking a fish? Is that the dude who first had AIDS?
Poseidon was the fucking horrid offspring of some fucking... That's gross.
What?
Just... Yeah, I mean, at some point, that had to be what happened.
Maybe.
Like, some dude was like, that fish looks hot.
So...
There's legs, baby.
So... Okay, so the mermaids in One Piece, right? They are, like, they're like fish from, like, straight up the waist down, right? But they must still have, like, human pussies, right? Because if they fuck like humans, right? Because if they breed like humans, they gotta, like, have, like human pussies. What?
I don't know, why do you ask?
Because it just reminds me
we know that they poop. That's canon.
Everything poops. Didn't you read that book?
Well, yes, but Luffy specifically asks lots of people whether or not they poop.
Reasonable.
Like he sees...
Yeah, I know. Anyway, the only reason I'm asking is because it reminds me of the mermaid from Dragon's Crown, where she doesn't start being a mermaid until, like, her middle thigh. So she still has, like, human ass. Like, she's straight up human until, like, mid-thigh.
I think they did that just to give her a human ass.
I hope so. The mermaid's hot. Like, one of the best character designs in that game. Full of amazing character designs.
So...
Oh.
Well, first, before he brings the building down, he's knocking out all the desks and the fucking
and
cabinets
he's like,
and shit.
Thank you, Luffy.
Yeah, she's like fucking breaking down, crying, covering her mouth and shit.
Yeah.
And then he brings the whole fucking building down, Arlong's beat. He climbs out of the rubble and he says, depending on the translation, but he says, he's just fucking screams, Nami, you are my crewmate, or you are my friend.
Yeah.
And then it's like...
Well, that's one and the same, really.
It's like, bruh.
Yeah. That's when the ship gets really underway.
Well, to be fair, Luffy would do that for anybody. Any of his crew.
Yeah. Reasonable.
Like, that's the bare minimum.
Right.
Like, he doesn't even see that as exertion. That's why he gets so mad at fucking Captain Kuro and shit.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing, was like, Arlong's like the first one of his enemies that he, like, kind of treats his dudes well, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, like, Don Krieg doesn't give a fuck about his dudes.
Yeah,
he gives the bare minimum of a fuck.
Well, because a lot of the time in the early ones, Luffy gets serious when he gets mad, so they try to think of a way to make him mad to win.
Right.
And, alright,
what's the best way to
Oda makes Luffy get mad to win, but this is the first time it's, like, personal.
Right.
So it feels more natural, you know? I think that's probably also why he made Arlong. And plus, probably being the first, like, fishman, he didn't want to make him seem like fucking, like, absolutely reprehensible, you know? He is reprehensible, but he's not, like, an inhuman monster.
Right.
It's like he doesn't care about his dudes, you know? So.
Right. They're his brothers.
Yeah. What's up, Goonies?
They are goons.
Yes, especially Chew. With his dick-sucking lips.
Yes. I like how they're all different types of fishmen.
Yeah, I don't think there's any duplicates. Fishmen. Of, like, named... Well, even, like, in the background. I don't think there are any fishmen that are actual characters that are duplicates.
Huh.
Every fishman is...
Because Arlong's, a sawfish fishman?
Saw-nosed fish or whatever it's called.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that is kind of cool. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the wiki actually has all what fish they are, usually.
Oh.
That's pretty interesting.
What about the mermaids? Are they all different types of fish?
No.
Well, the mermaids are just fishmen, fish women, right? Are they a special type of fishmen? Or are they their own thing?
They're their own thing, but I'm almost positive there's never been a female fishman.
Yeah, there has. That we've seen? Like, up to the point we are talking about right now.
I can't think of one ever.
What about on Fishman Island? Isn't there a bunch on Fishman Island?
No, there's a bunch of mermaids. Spoilers. We'll get there. But just keep that in mind. Look for female fishermen.
Maybe female fishermen are just mermaids.
But that's not... Oda said that's not true. Anyway, doesn't matter.
That brings up a terrible thought in my head as to how the fishmen breed.
Oh no. Maybe we had it backwards.
Maybe. Maybe.
Oh god.
They're like the xenomorphs.
Oh no. The first fish walked on land and said, I need to give me some eggs.
You got 3 basic functions in your life. Eat,
Cass,
sleep, and fuck.
I was going to say Cass, ass, and grass.
Hell yeah, that too.
Anyway, we're in the fucking resolution part of the arc where Nami gets a new tattoo.
It's a windmill and a tangerine. And you're like, huh, what's up with the windmill? And you're like, you find out like back when Nami was a baby, Genzo was like, I want to make Nami smile. And like Nami was scared of him, so he put a fucking pinwheel on his hat to always make her smile. And you're like, damn.
Only Oda.
Right.
Oda will give you a silly character design and then make it emotional.
Right. Oda's like a genius.
I mean, for real.
Yeah, no, like, I'm not...
Goda is not a joke.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing.
And they are, now that, because Nami had taken the ship and shit, so they finally get the Mary back, and, they all have they have a party. That's sort of a post-arc.
It's like a several-day party.
Yeah, that's a post-arc thing, is having a gigantic-ass fucking party. And then they're like, alright, we outie.
Yeah, and they're like, she's like, set sail. They're like, but you're not on the boat yet. And so they start sailing away. Nami's running. They're like, you're not gonna leave without saying bye. And she gets up on the boat, on the Mary, and then she like, everyone goes, where's my wallet? She like opens up her jacket and like all the fucking wallets fall out.
I go, you motherfucker.
Right.
They're all like,
come back
happy crying.
They're like, fuck you, come back anytime.
Yeah, pretty much. So it goes.
Right. So like pretty much every crew member is like welcome back home anytime, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Luffy gets his bounty in this arc too.
Yeah, so we retroactively find out the bounties of the dudes he's already beat.
Yeah.
And then
Don Krieg was 15.
I think it's 12, 16, and 20. I'm almost positive.
I thought it was 15. I thought it was 10, 15, 20.
I'll fucking find out right now. How about that?
Okay.
Describe the introduction to Loguetown, and I'll fucking pull it up real quick. One second.
So they're just sailing, and they're like, they see the island, right? Well, Nami buys a newspaper, and bitch is like, your prices are going up to the bird? It's like a bird, dude, right? Is it an intelligent bird? It's gotta be like an intelligent bird.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it has some level of intelligence.
Anyway, she buys a paper, and she's reading it, and like, oh, well, I guess there's like a scene where the Marine guy who got his ass beat is like calling headquarters and telling him like, you need to set a bounty for this dude. This dude's not fucking cool.
Oh, we also need to describe the buggy story in just a little bit, because it leads into this.
Yeah. So he's so he gets his wanted poster, and like they're like in this big ass, they're in like Navy headquarters. Like all these dudes are in this room with their lunches and shit, and they're like, yeah, 30 million is pretty high bounty for a dude, for a rookie, but he warrants it. He beat all these dudes' asses.
We were both wrong. It's 15, 17, and 20.
Oh, well, shit. Oh, well. At least I was right about Arlong's.
We're fake fans.
Yeah, I guess. And then, like, it shows all these Navy, all the Marine dudes, they're, like, lined up outside, and, like, this dude's, like, preaching to them about they are supreme justice and shit, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then, so, Nami buys her paper, the wanted poster slips out, and they're like, oh, hey, I'm a wanted man now. So Luffy's all happy about that, and then they're like sailing, and they see Loguetown or Roguetown. Is it Loguetown or Roguetown?
there's not an official romanization, so we just have... Generally, it's translated as Loguetown.
Okay. Which I think sounds cooler.
It sounds cooler, but I'm almost positive it's supposed to be like a rogue place for rogues before they go
like
to
Mos Eisley Cantina?
Like Rogue Town, you know?
Yeah.
That's why they have the fucking... That's why they executed fucking... Oh, what's his name there?
Well, he was from there, too. Yeah, he was like from there.
He's from there, and it just has that reputation now of being...
Yeah.
Devious.
Isn't it really close to Reverse Mountain, is why?
Well, yeah, it's like the last stop before.
Right.
Reverse Mountain.
So...
Like, Buggy and his crew had been separated.
Yeah.
Obviously, because of Luffy blasting him off again.
Yeah.
Into the fucking... And what I like about the Buggy cover story, it's like, not much happens, but you see the crew kind of fucking around a little bit.
Yeah.
And like fighting over who's going to be captain, and then...
He changes his makeup, too. He had some like green shit to his face.
Yeah.
Some extra lines.
I like how, like, he doesn't have his body. Like, he's got to go get it.
Right.
Well, now to bring it back to the dick and balls.
Oh, God.
But remember how you said, like it would follow him, right? That's what we were talking about. Yeah. Well, I just remembered that his body parts stay, presumably, there, right?
Yeah.
Because the crew gets the body, I think.
Yeah.
And they take it with them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Damn.
I guess you're right.
You're the fake fan. I'm not.
Truly, I'm going to kill myself.
Not yet, you aren't.
Not until we finish. I got to wait for One Piece to end, and then it's all over.
It's all over for the rest of Japan.
Yeah,
they already have like the highest suicide rate ever. But can you imagine dudes finding out what One Piece is and being disappointed and like it's gonna be like the 1920s when all the bankers are jumping out the window? It's gonna be raining businessmen.
The fucking suicide forest trees are gonna be so heavy with bodies they're gonna start tipping over like dominoes.
The rivers are gonna be choking with
the fucking world economy is gonna collapse.
Well, is Japan really that important to the world economy?
Probably not.
I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't. I mean, they might be. I know they're pretty integral to like some parts. But
how important is Japan to China? Probably not very. I bet China's obviously more important to everybody than Japan is.
Right. I mean, I'd be pretty affected by Japan disappearing.
Yeah.
A lot of my media would disappear.
Yeah, the majority of my media would, and an inordinate amount of the things I really care about would disappear.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's not like this is a new fact for me, but I'm going to guess 65% or more of like my favorite things are Japanese.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing over there.
They actually care.
They're doing it big.
Yeah, they actually care, for one. That helps. Anyway, so they elect like Richie, or not Richie, because Richie's a lion. The dude with the fucking cub haircut or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like the new captain, right?
Yeah.
He's like interim captain.
And so while that's going on, Buggy finds this hot lady who...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She does show up in
this. And then they team up.
Yeah, you're like, who's this sexy lady with the cowboy hat?
Yep. Who could it be? They team up, and then they get the crew back together, and that's pretty much the end of the cover story. Well, the crew arrives in Loguetown.
They also almost get eaten, by the way.
Yeah.
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 Doesn't the Captain Morgan stuff end here? Around in here?
What?
Doesn't the Captain Morgan stuff end around in here, too? With Kobe and Helmeppo? Doesn't that end?
No, I think it goes into the next part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think we'll cover it the next time.
Okay, sounds reasonable.
Not too much to say about that one either, but...
I like it.
I mean, I like this one, too.
I have a few questions about it.
Yeah, fair enough. And... when the Straw Hats get to Loguetown, they sort of split up, and they all sort of go in their own ways and have their own little encounters or whatever, so... Well, also, I don't want to go too much into detail, but I really like the scene where we see the different characters seeing Luffy's bounty.
Right.
And they'll have a nice little reaction. That's a recurring theme
Oh yeah, and like the mayor of his hometown is like, is it his what is it? I can't remember what the first line, or is it his destiny? Is it his dream or is it his destiny to be the pirate king? Yeah. You're like,
or what's the difference? What's the difference,
right?
bro?
Right.
We see Shanks and Mihawk together.
Yeah. Mihawk walks up and everybody's like, what's Mihawk doing here? And he walks up and Shanks is like, I'm not feeling great. If you want to fight, that's fine, but... And Mihawk's like, I'm not here to fight a one-armed dude. And he like shows him the Wanna poster and he's like, Luffy, you've made it. Bring the alcohol. They're like, aren't you hungover? But we gotta celebrate. I'm like, Shanks is gonna die.
Shanks is wild.
Right.
Shanks can handle his liquor though, almost certainly.
Oh, I'm sure. But if you're hungover, you're dehydrated.
But in Loguetown, the crew splits up. So Zoro had
his two swords were broken, so he had to go buy new swords. Right? Yeah. So he had to buy new swords. And he meets this girl who looks suspiciously like his childhood friend Kuina. And she's blabbering on about like how all these criminals have all these great swords. Right. And I just like the whole scene in the sword shop. I don't have too much to say about it, but the throwing the sword up. Throws the sword up and sticks his arm out and like goes around it. It's like, this must be on my sword. Didn't that sword break later too?
Well, we'll find out eventually, won't we?
Oh, okay. I can't remember which way the sword breaks eventually.
There's a lot of sword rotation, but
yeah, which is fine.
For whatever reason, I also just remembered the name of the. I'm not like a sword name rememberer, especially not in One Piece, but the Wado Ichimonji is the name of the.
Wait, the what?
It's the Wado Ichimonji.
Wado or Wano?
Wado.
Oh, okay.
Ichimonji.
Okay.
Is the name of the white sword.
Oh, okay.
That he got from Kuina.
Oh, okay.
His mouth sword.
Yeah.
As it were.
Yeah.
And
I hope he at least keeps it clean. I hope. Kind of gross. Can you imagine how much blood gets into his mouth? From when he's like fighting dudes?
Many blood.
That's a lot of blood. That's gross.
It's kind of gross.
When you think about it.
You don't have to think about it very much.
But I do have to think about it.
Maybe that's why he does it.
Gross.
To taste the blood of his enemies.
Zoro's the first dude to have AIDS.
Anyway, Usopp goes and gets some new goggles or whatever.
And some new ingredients to make new
pellets or whatever.
Yeah, whatever he uses.
Who gives a fuck?
Right.
I also like how Nami has to grant Zoro an allowance to buy swords.
Right. She goes and buys clothes.
Yeah.
Which, of course.
Sanji goes and buys some fish, right?
An elephant fish.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna eat it.
We also get introduced to Smoker. This is the best character introduction of all time.
Smoker is my favorite future Straw Hat.
Smoker is... I love his introduction because a little girl's running with her ice cream and she runs into his leg and drops the ice cream on his leg.
Yeah.
And then it pans back and we see a Marine. We've never met a Marine that we really like so far in this story. They've all been...
most of the time they're kind of assholes or subservient to assholes.
Yeah. And he looks down.
He goes, oh, my pants ate your ice cream. Right?
Yeah, and then he gives her some money.
Yeah, he's like, go buy 2 scoops.
Walks away.
Yeah.
For real, that's the best thing ever because 99% of the other times that you'd be, you'd fucking kick her.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Be like, oh, you're a pirate, huh? Just puts a gun on her.
Yeah.
That's just how the Marines act in this.
I know. But Smoker's fucking god.
Smoker's great. If Ben Beckman didn't exist, Smoker would be my favorite character.
Smoker's up there for sure regardless.
He's got a really cool power, too.
Very versatile.
Right.
And useful. This is the first Logia. We don't know that term yet. But he's, easily when we see his power, we know, he's a step above.
Even Luffy at this point.
Yeah. When he has that short encounter with Luffy, it's Luffy stands no chance.
Right. Yeah. And so Luffy goes off to see the execution platform where Gold Roger was executed.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like up on it, and everybody's like yelling at him. And then like Buggy puts him in shackles.
Out of nowhere. Like Buggy wasn't there, and then Buggy's there.
Buggy appears. And he's like, I'm gonna kill you. And Luffy's like, okay.
Gets a big grin.
Yeah. Well, not yet. And anyway, so like the Straw Hats kind of see it. Alvida, or I guess you find out it's Alvida. Yeah. She shows up. And, like, this big-ass rock comes at her and just falls off her. She's like, yeah, I ate the slip fruit. So all the fat slipped off. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Because you'd be dead. Straight up dead.
I mean, yeah.
Like, dead. So anyway. So she can, like, remove the friction from stuff, right?
Yeah, Yeah.
Or just herself.
I think it's just herself.
Oh. That's lame. That's not as cool as what it could be. Like the stand in part 8.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to...
Wait, I thought she could remove the friction from anything because they like, at one point they hold up a ramp and she like slides down it. So maybe she just removes the friction from herself?
Let me look at... Yeah, that's what the impression that I got. Let me look at abilities and powers.
Okay. So like... Luffy's about to be executed by Buggy. The Straw Hats are trying to get to him to break down the execution platform.
No, she takes off her shoes, remember? So she can fucking, like, slide on shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
she's gotta, like, build momentum or whatever.
Oh, okay. So, then, like, a rogue lightning strike hits Buggy. It explodes the fucking platform. But, as Buggy was putting down gonna execute him, Luffy's, like, grinning and going, sorry, guys, I'm dead. And, like, Smoker's like, the fuck? Huh? You ever seen a pirate smile before he dies? And he asked some dude, like, you ever seen a pirate smile before he dies? And he's like, the guy goes, no, they're usually, like, crying and shit. And the Smoker's like, that reminds me of that man 20 years ago.
That man.
Right.
That's my favorite fucking thing. I find that so fucking entertaining whenever they're like, it's that crew.
Right.
It's that man.
Right.
That gun.
And so, like,
I left it all in that place.
Right. Like everybody knows what you're talking about. And so, like, Smoker's like, yeah, we never let a pirate escape from Loguetown. So they're like, let's chase him down. It starts raining. And like, okay, Buggy is able to turn himself into a motorcycle. Or no, he's into like a car. It's like a go-kart, almost.
Yeah, it's...
And then, but Smoker is able to use his power to drive a motorcycle. Or a power trike or whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of... I mean, it's cool, I guess. It's kind of weird, but fuck it.
It almost seems like an attempt to sell toys like the 80s cartoons.
Yeah, maybe.
Be kind of neat, though. And then... So, like, Luffy and Smoker kind of fight a little bit. And then it shows this mysterious man in a hood who we don't know. And he goes, so that is your choice, huh? Well, because Luffy, like, screams, I'm going to be the Pirate King. And he's up on like, when he's on the execution platform. He's like, so that is your choice, huh? And you're like, who the fuck is this dude? He's got face tattoos and shit. Is he Lil Pump?
That's what... Really, Lil Pump was an influencer.
Truly. 20 years ago.
Yeah. When he was... Before his birth.
Right. Oh my god.
Well, this chapter would have been after his birth, but One Piece is older than Lil Pump is.
Great.
It's almost older than we are. Barely not. Started in 97.
Oh, shit. Okay, yeah, you're right. And then, so, like, Smoker's about to, like, hit Luffy with his sword stick or whatever.
I like his weapon, too.
Yeah, it's cool. It's neat. I like
it. Do we find out about the...
No.
Okay. Yeah, no, I guess we don't, because we don't even know about that substance yet.
Right. And the mysterious man stops Smoker from attacking. And, like, causes a great gust... And seemingly causes a great gust of wind to, like... shoo Luffy upon his way, right?
Yeah.
And Smoker's like, there's almost some sort of divine will allowing this man to escape. Which is fucking crazy.
Curious.
Right. And Smoker, like, looks at this dude and is like, why did you help him? And this mysterious man goes, who am I to block a man's voyage? And he goes, Dragon!
This is a cool name for a dude, Dragon.
Yeah, mysterious man, Dragon.
M.M. Dragon. Mysterious man.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm like, I was confused for a second. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, just very curious, this entire set of circumstances. I just keep this part in mind. This One Piece in general, keep it all of One Piece all the time in mind, because it
truly
always factors in, but just 20 years later, we don't know the full ramifications / circumstances of what's occurring here.
Right.
It's interesting. And the Straw Hats make it out to sea. They head for... They know they're about to enter the Grand Line, and they do the fucking iconic barrel scene.
Yeah.
Love that shit, where they fucking...
Put their foot up on the barrel.
Yeah. Shit makes my dick rock fucking hard.
Announce their dreams.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it.
Who's got your favorite dream out of these 5 dudes? These are like the OGs, too, you know?
Yeah. I'd say probably Luffy. Because that's like... The concept of... The Pirate King is like the coolest concept to me ever.
And when
it just like do we know what his idea of what being the Pirate King is yet?
No.
Okay, so I won't say it yet,
but there's certain, like, when we get towards the end is when I'm really gonna be able to fly off the fucking rails and go on like gigantic, enormous fucking cum guzzling fucking Oda dick sucks, because like there's just certain things about the way the entire story is structured and the way the entire characters and their arcs work that is like, in retrospect, like going back and seeing every time you go back and read it from the beginning, it's like, what the fuck, you know?
Like, this dude, I will guarantee you this dude has everything written out already.
I mean,
there is a master script with with everything from beginning to end written out in it in a vault. It's in Fort Knox. It's next to the gold in Roswell.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Oda's God. What do you want? Truly.
Is that why the U.S. presidents age so fast? Because they get to know what the end of One Piece is?
Yes. They're like,
it's not even the secrets of like the U.S. that's the problem. It's like they find out what the
secrets of Oda.
Yeah, they find out what One Piece.
That's why Oda fucking is always in the hospital and shit, fucking chain smoking.
Because of the ramifications.
He knows too much.
Right.
He's like, my brain has concocted something too powerful for any one man to contain.
Right. Can you imagine if he died before One Piece was over?
Oh my god, I'd kill myself.
Oh my god. I honestly, I think that's why there's like a master script out there. Because I think he might have like taken that into account.
He probably has, I would imagine.
Like there's like some dude training underneath him.
Well, that's one thing that I will say, without going into too many details about spoilers about One Piece or anything else, that I know these long stories that are still going after a super long time, I know that One Piece is going to nail the landing. Whereas, you know, Berserk, I assume it will.
Right.
But also, Miura writes Berserk surprisingly very, like, chapter to chapter. He does not plan a ton of stuff way, way in advance.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. It's hard to say the details because he's very close-lipped about a lot of things. But he said that he doesn't... It's not like he started this Berserk in everything that's happened now. He knew that was going to happen. Mm-hmm. I wonder, like, when he started Golden Age, did he know exactly how Golden Age ended? You know? He had an idea.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just interesting. Or compared to something else that is also long running that I'm a fan of, Hunter x Hunter, where I don't have any assumptions that, like, he knows how it's going to end, because he just is writing whatever is the coolest, the arc he wants to write currently, and that's just what you're reading.
Right.
Yeah. But One Piece, I know that, like, it's so massive, that's how it takes 20 plus years to make.
Right.
So I pulled up the thing so I could inform everybody what the chapters for next
Those
week
are not the lists you have in the doc are not necessarily correct.
They're exactly correct according to when the arcs begin in it. The problem is the arcs are not like everything flows together so well that it's like not like, and there's not like a thing that pops out new arc.
Right.
Like the last chapter they're in Loguetown when they're approaching Reverse Mountain is the end of arc, but like you could go from chapter 100 to 101 and it doesn't feel like a new arc, but it technically is.
Oh.
Arcs in One Piece are more where they're at almost than, complete stories, because as we're getting into, this is sort of, One Piece is broken into sagas. Okay? So the arcs are where they're at, and the sagas are like the main story beats. So then this was the East Blue saga. Now we're going into the Alabasta saga. So, although next week we're reading 4 arcs, chapter 101 to 154, it's all building up to what comes after. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's sort of one complete overall narrative, more than like the individual arcs are.
Okay.
But I assure you, I made double sure that these chapters they all line up to, like, based on the wiki where the arcs begin and end. So next week, like I said, 101 to 154, a little bit longer stretch. These episodes are going to get longer and longer, I'd imagine, for the most part. Some of them
the arcs themselves.
Well, yeah, but like this one has ended up about 2 hours, right. And it's almost half the chapters that we read last week.
Right.
Yeah. Like we did 68 chapters last week, and then this week it's like 33.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's just dangerous.
Yeah.
But the problem is the more you go, the more you have to say, because there's more like things to relate what's happening to. So love this shit. Great stuff. Just better and better. This is Arlong Park is still a standout arc.
Yeah.
Really, like, this is where everything is like,
damn, this was fucked up.
That's like when everything comes together. Like, you realize he's been planning out Nami this whole time. We get like the world is expanded with like a new race of characters or a new species or whatever you want to call it, and more of like the dichotomy and the gray morality of the Marines and the pirates. And now we're actually...
I am very happy, extremely happy, that everything is like shades of gray and it's not just like black and white, like, we're good, you're bad.
Yeah.
And like, even like, you could say like the Marines were like lawful good and shit, and like still have them be the villains, because they're like, oh, what do we want to do? Arrest the pirates. So that's why we're the bad guys, because we want to arrest the pirates.
Well, and we'll get a lot more into detail on this later, but it's just there's, for instance, if you've read One Piece, I won't give away any spoilers, but compare the 3 admirals in the original 3 admirals, and compare their moral systems. The story does it directly. So if you know what I'm talking about, I'm sure you've considered that, but like, just because they're in the same position, technically, they're all equal rank, and they're all like, compatriots, or, they work together to a certain extent.
Right.
The kind of morals they define themselves by are completely different. It's just, that's been present since the beginning, and Arlong Park, and like I said, Arlong Park is also the first arc where it's really like, we got enough characters with all this different shit going on, right. And there's lots of moving parts, and it all really comes together well. Although I will say, so far, my biggest annoyance in the story is how in every arc, we have to like take Luffy out of commission and keep him out for a while
just to make it fair,
until everybody else has done their fight. Right. Otherwise, like, it'd be over.
Right.
Like, that was one of the first things I think I remember first watching One Piece. You probably don't remember this, but so we were, when I first watched it, we were in 9th or 10th grade, and I was like describing it to you. I'm like, yeah, like all these arcs I've really, really liked, except the most annoying thing is that like every arc will be there's a setup, and then Luffy will be out for fucking 4 or 5 episodes, and then everybody else does their fights, and then he comes back and does his fight. That's 3 episodes or whatever.
Right.
So But yeah, and I also like the last thing I'll say on what I like so far is it's baffling that we get to this point and they treat it like, okay, the prologue's over.
I know.
Shit is different. Fucking for real. So, all right, I guess we'll see you next time.
Yeah.